Field 6 off the turn. They're lining up. Here they come. They're off and pacing with Real Society going right to the top. Lost My Love came away well. JL Hawkwind is there as the field now falls in post position order. Midway around the turn, Lost My Love. Now going after Real Society. Lost My Love will lead to the quarter. Real Society will gladly take the trip with JL Hawkwind racing in third. And then it's a length and a half back to Broadway Attraction racing fourth. Piper Champagne in fifth. Gap of 2 to the trailer, Olivia Franco. Off the quarter, 29 seconds. Lost My Love, the favorite, but not by much, leads it. A length and a quarter, Real Society racing second. JL Hawkwind racing in third. Then a break of 4 to Broadway Attraction, the co-favorite. Another length back to Piper Champagne. Olivia Franco. No change in position. They're off the turn and by the stands. It's Lost My Love in rain to Dale Heitman. Going along comfortably with Real Society right on her back. JL Hawkwind, and now Hostetler sends Broadway Attraction. She moves up from fourth and now flushes cover. Half-timed in 59 and 3. Lost My Love, your leader. Now pressure from JL Hawkwind, and right in behind her is Broadway Attraction as she moves second over. Real Society right there in third. On the inside, it's Piper Champagne. Olivia Franco still trails, but she's only about 6 off the lead with a quarter of a mile to go. Pace picks up just a little bit. Lost My Love digging down. JL Hawkwind right alongside. Real Society is right there in third. 3/4, 130 straight. 3/16 to go. They're all in behind Lost My Love. JL Hawkwind still alongside with Real Society perched in the pocket. Broadway Attraction still about 5 to make up with less than an eighth to go. They're in the stretch. Lost My Love now accelerating, opening up the lead. A late rally by Broadway Attraction, but too much to make up. In deep stretch, it's Lost My Love. Broadway Attraction rallies for second. JL Hawkwind third. The mile, 1:59 flat. Top of the stretch, picking up speed. Field of 8 lining up. Here they come. They're off. Both Cajun Cowboy instead of Red off a tad slow, and now Tim Pickme drives from the middle of the track, quickly out to take command as they race into the first turn. Propensity racing in second on the outside. Seance showing some pace will now tuck in third, just ahead of Cajun Cowboy racing in fourth. Another length back to instead of Red. Poco Rerun looking to settle in ahead of HJ Strike and Mr. Prognosticator from the outside. And now Propensity with an early and aggressive move to take command as they wheel by the quarter in 30 and 1. The favorite Propensity cutting the mile with Tim Pickme racing in second, Seance in third. Another length and a half back to Cajun Cowboy racing in fourth, just ahead of instead of Red. Then the first-time starter, Poco Rerun, will save ground. HJ Strike is on the move. Mr. Prognosticator drives from last. They race for the half. It's Propensity on top. Leads it by 2. Tim Pickme traveling in the pocket. A length back to Seance racing in third instead of Red. Grinding out a first over trip, half-timed in 1:02 and 4. Propensity leads it. Tim Pickme right there in behind the leader on the outside instead of Red, inching his way forward. Just ahead of HJ Strike. Mr. Prognosticator is third over. Seance and Cajun Cowboy both saving ground. Poco Rerun is shuffled back to the end. Midway up the backstretch, Propensity now picking it up just a little bit. Pressure from instead of Red, Tim Pickme chipping away at the lead. 3/4, 132 straight. Around the turn, it's Propensity. Tim Pickme instead of Red continues to gain ground. Then a gap of 2 to Seance, racing in fourth, off stride in the rear, Mr. Prognosticator. They come to the corner. Propensity leads it. Tim Pickme is set for the drive instead of Red. Continues to go at it. It's Propensity now, kicking in and drawing out. Propensity in front, tight for second. Top of the stretch. Here they come. They're off. HS Truly Scrumptious quickly from out behind the gate. Let's Go Sis moving right with her, and IRA Sally showing some pace. She'll tuck in just a length ahead of Some Sweet Day. Then it's another length back to Ouch It's Jenny. Your trailer, Lighten Up Joni, off the turn. They race up the backstretch. HS Truly Scrumptious in command of the fractions. Let's Go Sis racing in second. Then a gap of 3.5 to IRA Sally. And then another big break about 5 to Some Sweet Day. Now Ouch It's Jenny trying to move around her. Lighten Up Joni trails off that quarter, a quick 28 seconds. HS Truly Scrumptious, your leader, with Let's Go Sis right there on her back. A length and a half back to IRA Sally racing in third. Ouch It's Jenny takes over fourth. Some Sweet Day racing fifth. Now Jacob sends Lighten Up Joni. She's on the move from last. A race for the half. HS Truly Scrumptious in command. Off the half, 59-3. 31-3 second quarter. HS Truly Scrumptious leads. Let's Go Sis now drives from the pocket. On the outside, Lighten Up Joni. She's on the move fourth, now third. IRA Sally gapping in fourth. A length back to Ouch It's Jenny. And your trailer, Some Sweet Day. And now the pace picking up rapidly. So we have a battle for the lead between HS Truly Scrumptious and Let's Go Sis. They're wheel to wheel, off three quarters, 129-3. HS Truly Scrumptious on the inside, on the outside. Let's Go Sis, they'll go at it for the final eighth of a mile. Lighten Up Joni is dropping off the pace with IRA Sally coming on again. Top of the stretch. HS Truly Scrumptious leads. Let's Go Sis right there off her flank. HS Truly Scrumptious digging down. Here comes IRA Sally. HS Truly Scrumptious just enough to win it. IRA Sally second, close for third. Field approaching the start. Here they come. They're off. Good start. 3 horses going after the lead. Mighty O Caleb, fastest of all. Mighty O Caleb quickly to the top. Opens up by 2. Freedom Big Boy came away well in second. Harmony Oaks Ace racing in third. A length back to Johnny Ringo in fourth. Just ahead of Harmony Oaks Ace racing in fifth, and a gap of 3.5. Freedom Big Boy. A length to Pantanic. 2 back to Flying Michael, Color of Swift, and your trailer, but on the move Comanche Carson off the quarter, 29-2. It's Mighty O Caleb on top with Johnny Ringo racing in second, Harmony Oaks Ace in third. Freedom Big Boy racing in fourth. On the outside, Color of Swift is on the move for Miller. Pantanic saves ground. Comanche Carson is third over. Flying Michael is shuffled back to the end. It's Mighty O Caleb in command of the pace. And now from the outside, McGee sends Freedom Big Boy after the leader, with Johnny Ringo right there in third. Half-time to minute and a fifth. On the outside, Freedom Big Boy putting the heat on the leader, Mighty O Caleb. Johnny Ringo right there on the leader's back, Color of Swift. Poised for Miller, second over. On the inside, Harmony Oaks Ace. Comanche Carson, only about 5 to make up. In comes Pantanic and Flying Michael. Field's bunching up. Freedom Big Boy now takes command. Off three quarters, 130-1. On the outside, Johnny Ringo now on the attack. Mighty O Caleb can do no more. Comanche Carson moving rapidly in between horses. Carrying Color of Swift wide, final eighth of a mile. Freedom Big Boy and Johnny Ringo. Top of the stretch. Freedom Big Boy, but now Johnny Ringo putting him away rather easily. Johnny Ringo wins it for Heitman, a double for Heitman. Freedom Big Boy second, Color of Swift rallies for third. Here is your fourth race top down after the placing. Reads 4-1-6-8-7-2-3-5. Top of the stretch. Here they come. They're off. As expected, Corporate Air will show the early speed for Harmer. She goes to an uncontested 2-length advantage as the field wheels into the first turn. Anxious BB came away in second with Ladybug in third. On the outside, Jolly Glad, the favorite, tucks in nicely for Morgan. Just ahead of Shining Maiden and Andy Miller, a length and a half back to It's a Saluki, my dear. Knox has exciting view on the move. Trailer is Crazy Reaction. Corporate Air, all by herself, a quick quarter, 28-2. Corporate Air leads it by 7, with Anxious BB traveling in second, Ladybug in third, Shining Maiden racing in fourth. Jolly Glad is hemmed in. Exciting view on the outside with It's a Saluki, my dear, and far back Crazy Reaction. It's all Corporate Air. She leads it by 4, and now Anxious BB starting to chip away at the lead, half-timed in 58-4. On the outside, here comes Shining Maiden from fourth, Ladybug. Jolly Glad in a heap of trouble. Exciting view racing on the outside. It's a Saluki, my dear. Is the trailer. Make that Crazy Reaction far back. Midway up the half backstretch. Corporate Air shortening stride. Anxious BB racing in second. Shining Maiden third. Ladybug. 3 quarters, 129-1. Jolly Glad still a good 6 to make up. She's caught up inside. Midway around the turn. Corporate Air leads. Anxious BB. On the outside, Shining Maiden. Here comes Exciting View. Jolly Glad trying to work her way in between horses. Corporate Air is leg weary. Here comes the onslaught, led by Shining Maiden on the outside. Exciting View. Corporate Air is still there. Corporate Air from start to finish. Field's picking up speed. Here they come. They're off and making a break. Perfect shot. And now Lafayette Jones will quickly take command as they race into the first turn with Van Cruz. Come away in second. Tewksbury racing third. Fast Lane Lover in fourth. Perfect shot back on his gate. Racing in fifth. Just ahead of Electric Shadow. Then comes Little Albo and Luciano. They race midway up the backstretch. And approaching the opening quarter, Lafayette Jones out there by 2.5 over the favorite Van Cruz. Opening quarter, 29-2. Lafayette Jones leads it with Van Cruz racing in second. A length and a half back to Tewksbury KS. Another length and a half back to Fast Lane Lover. Then comes Perfect Shot, Electric Shadow. Little Albo sent on his way. Luciano still trails. Off the turn and by the stands, Lafayette Jones, the one to catch. Little more than a half mile to go. It's Lafayette Jones. And now Tewksbury KS. A well attack for Miller. Half-timed in a minute straight. Van Cruz right there in behind those two. On the outside, Fast Lane Lover is on the move. Electric Shadow saves ground. Perfect Shot. Little Albo and Luciano. 3/8 of a mile to go. From the outside, Tewksbury is on the attack. Lafayette Jones is still there with Van Cruz right there on his back. Fast Lane Lovers 3 wide, 3 quarters, 129-3. The leader, Lafayette Jones. On the outside, Tewksbury. Fast Lane Lover is 3 wide. Van Cruz poised in the pocket for Morgan with 1/8 of a mile to go. Your leader is Lafayette Jones as they turn for home. Here comes Van Cruz. Lafayette Jones leads it. Van Cruz is closing in. Here comes Van Cruz. Lafayette Jones still there. Van Cruz second, Fast Lane Lover third.
There's your prices for race number 7, double exacta.
Here they come. They're off and pacing. Kate-tastic. On the outside, showing speed, Fantasy Hill in between horses, and Lake Hills Mimi. They're across the track, the 3 of them. Fantasy Hill now takes a short lead. Lake Hills Mimi making her work hard. A 1.5 back to Kate-tastic, who dropped in just ahead of You're in the News. A 1.5 back to Smoke Horizon. Golden Princess, Narrows Affair, and a Mega Carry. Opening quarter a quick 28 seconds for Fantasy Hill as she has worked her way to the top. Lake Hills Mimi racing in second, a 1.5 back to Kate-tastic in third. You're in the News racing in fourth. On the outside, here comes Smoke Horizon. She'll bring up Golden Princess. Narrows Affair and Mega Carry, they still trail. It's Fantasy Hill, your leader and the favorite, with Lake Hills Mimi right there on her back. On the outside, Smoke Horizon inching her way forward. Kate-tastic saves ground. Golden Princess getting a good trip. Half-timed in 58-2. Fantasy Hill leads it, and now Smoke Horizon will put the heat on with Lake Hills Mimi right there in third. Golden Princess right off her flank. On the inside, it's Kate-tastic. Mega Carry into the action for McGee. You're in the News and Narrows Affair. A little more than a quarter of a mile to go. Smoke Horizon. On the outside, on the inside, Fantasy Hill. Lake Hills Mimi right behind those two. 3/4, 1:28-3. Midway around the turn. Fantasy Hill trying to put away a pesky Smoke Horizon. Lake Hills Mimi right on her back. They turn for home. Fantasy Hill leads it. Here comes Lake Hills Mimi. Smoke Horizon can do no more in deep stretch. Fantasy Hill from coast to coast. Lake Hills Mimi second, close for third. Kate-tastic of the mile, 1:58. The attitude tomorrow night's Pick 6 carryover jackpot. That's 3705.77. Top of the stretch, field of 8 lining up. Here they come. They're off. 3 inside horses, along with Stetson and Subtraction, all going out for the lead. In between horses, Our Romantic Walk. Here comes Stetson. On the inside, Sarasi is there. Town Thunder will give way to those 3. He'll tuck in fourth, just ahead of Subtraction, who came away with a good early spot. Then a break of 5 to Varsity Type. He'll be rated from off the pace. Reno Hill and a Lil's Bunny. Quick quarter, 27-4, and they're still doing battle. Our Romantic Walk in Stetson. Sarasi right there in third. Now Town Thunder off the cones for Morgan. On the outside, Subtraction. Now Subtraction goes back to the cones. Big break to Varsity Type, Reno Hill, and Lil's Bunny. They're battling away. Our Romantic Walk survives. Stetson will now have to fend off Town Thunder as he moves 3 wide by the half, 56-4. Here comes Town Thunder on the attack. Our Romantic Walk is still there. Sarasi racing in third. Subtraction with those 3. And now Reno Hill takes over 5th. Stetson is dropping back, paying dearly for that duel. Lil's Bunny, varsity type, being outpaced. Final quarter of a mile. Town Thunder takes command. Our Romantic Walk is giving way 3/4, 126 and 3. Here comes Sirossi. Subtraction is 3 wide. Lil's Bunny making up a lot of ground but running into some traffic. They come to the corner. Town Thunder trying to get it home. He leads it by 2. Sir Rossi is coming on. In the stretch, it's Town Thunder. Here comes Sir Rossi. He's homing in. Town Thunder digging down. One final surge by Sir Rossi. Town Thunder in front. Sir Rossi, 156 and 4. Top of the stretch. Here they come. They're off in pacing with Queen Cam, the first to show speed. Look Annie moving right with her as she establishes position. They wheel into the first turn. Society Jan right in behind her. Just ahead of Holly's Discovery, Golden Radiance, and Betty Bogart. Race off the turn and head up the backstretch. It's the favorite, Queen Cam, on top. Leads it a length and a half with Look Annie right on her back. Society Jan racing third, Holly's Discovery. Corporate make that Golden Radiance, and Betty Bogart off the quarter, 29 and 3. They race around the turn. It's Queen Cam in command of the fractions, pacing comfortably on top, a length and a quarter. Look Annie second. Society Jan sits pat. Here comes Holly's Discovery. She'll bring up Betty Bogart as they race for the half. Golden Radiance saves ground. It's Queen Cam cutting her own mile. Look Annie right there in second on the outside. Holly's Discovery. Betty Bogart is on the move. Half-timed in 1:03. Queen Cam leads it. Now Holly's Discovery will put the heat on. On the outside, Betty Bogart poised for Morgan. She's second over. Golden Radiance off the cones. They're 3 in, 3 out. Look Annie right there in behind the leader. Society Jan saves ground. They're all bunched up off 3/4, 130 and 1. Holly's Discovery continues to pressure Queen Cam. She's responding. On the inside, Look Annie racing third. Betty Bogart lurking on the outside. Top of the stretch, Queen Cam looking to put away the challenge of Holly's Discovery, and now she draws off in the stretch. Queen Cam leads it. Holly's Discovery second best, close for third. Look Annie. Here they come. They're off. West Broadway and Bo Rubetchikan both going out for position, and Sweep came away in third. Diakos racing fourth. Bud Hanks unhurried in fifth. And then it's Let's Go Lou, and now Bo Rubetchikan takes command of the pace. He leads at a length over West Broadway. Then a gap of 3.5 to end Sweep. Diakos, Bud Hanks, and Let's Go Lou off the quarter. A quick 28 seconds. Bo Rubetchikan on top by a length and a quarter. West Broadway racing in second. Now ends Sweep moving a closer third. Diakos is underway for Heitman, bringing up Bud Hanks. Let's Go Lou still trails. Bo Rubetchikan comes off the turn with a length and a quarter advantage on the outside. Diakos quickly up to challenge West Broadway. Right there in third. Bud Hanks getting the good trip. And Sweep saves ground. And now Let's Go Lou drives from last. 3 in, 3 out off the half, 58 and 3. Bo Rubetchikan out in front with Diakos. Breathing down his neck, West Broadway racing in third. Bud Hanks looming large for Andy Miller. On the outside now, Let's Go Lou starting to gather up momentum. And Sweep is pushed back to the end. Bo Rube Betcha Can leads it. Here comes Bud Hanks. Diakos will have to do more. On the outside, Let's Go Lou moving 3 wide with West Broadway racing along the inside. 3/4, 128 and 3. And now Bud Hanks takes command with a little more than an eighth of a mile to go. Let's Go Lou picks up the chase. They turn for home. It's Bud Hanks. Here comes Let's Go Lou. Bud Hanks with a 16th to go. Well in control of this. It's all Bud Hanks. Let's Go Lou second. Bo Rube Betcha Can holding on for the show money.